I made a horror game in 72 hours. The first question I had to answer is, what am I gonna create? As I only have 3 days, I found out the best option would be to do a remake of an horror game. And that's when I immediately thought about one of the best ones released in 2012. You guessed it, it's Slender the 8 Pages. However, as in 2012 the graphics were blurry and pixeled, we'll find a way to make this game super realistic. First of all, I created the project in Unreal Engine 5 and got the FPS template right off the bat so that we can move and jump already, which saves some time. Next, we need to recreate the iconic elements of Slender, the 8 pages. This means adding the pages, adding Slenderman, which I got for free in a website called Sketchfab, and a flashlight to our game. These are the main components, so let's start with the flashlight. I've added this flashlight model for my asset library. To make it more realistic, I added a sway effect when moving. It really adds to the immersion when the flashlight is static. Next, I programmed the flashlight to follow the mouth movement, making it responsive to where the player is looking. But to make our character feel more alive, I added an animation for toggling the flashlight. You can almost feel the tension in the air. Then I added procedural movement to simulate head bobbing while idle, walking, or even sprinting. The game is already starting to come to life with these little details. Now it's time for the 8 pages. Adding the pages was relatively straightforward. First of all, I created a page texture and applied it to a simple mesh. Second of all, I added collision detection to interact with the player. And finally, I set up the UI to show feedback when a page is collected. After that, I took a break to handle some real-life stuff, but when I came back, I started working on the UI for the pages. For the UI, I used some pre-built designs from a previous unreleased project, and although it took a few hours to integrate and code, this was much quicker than starting from scratch. Next up, the environment design. This was definitely the most time-consuming part, and I initially considered using procedural generation content to create the forest, but I decided to learn how to create a custom environment to preserve the game's atmosphere. And I found a great tutorial on YouTube which taught me how to create this beautiful forest. Here is my result. And after spending a day and a half learning and practicing, I went back into the project and used the 2D map from the Slenderman wiki as a reference to design the game's map. Now, with the environment set, I moved on to coding Slenderman. This took some trial and error, but I finally got a version that fits the game well. After implementing the game loop, death mechanics, and respawn system, our game is now playable. The graphics are optimized, and there are settings to tweak according to your preference. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more development challenges. I also made a Patreon as I currently earn nothing from what I do, so I try to set up interesting rewards in the membership section, and if you are interested, the link is in the description. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to share more with you all. Anyway, let's dive into the gameplay.